Good evening, Commanders, and welcome to Algorab AM. I am your host, Commander IFlippaDaSwitch, and this is your one-stop shop for everything going on in Elite Dangerous, the Algorab system, Forbes Terminal, and everything in between. You know, a lot of people like to say, Switch, you're doing a hell of a job out there. And I say to myself, but I'm not just one guy. This isn't a one-man plan. I can't row this boat all on my own. And that's why I found it necessary to not only put him in the spotlight, but also put him in front of a microphone. Here with me today in the Forbes Terminal studio, I have Commander Monohive, Commander Havoc, and Commander FantasticSpork. How are you guys all doing today?
Doing good.
Doing great.
Awesome. So I'm going to give you guys a chance to introduce yourselves really quick. Why don't we start out with you, Monohive?
Hey, I'm Commander Monohive. I'm the editor at Algorab AM, and apart from sitting and chopping up Switch's voice until it's listenable, I also make some music and some sound effects every now and then.
It takes a lot of work to make my voice listenable, so I appreciate your efforts.
You're a wizard.
Yeah, you're a wizard, Mono. All right, Havoc?
Yeah, I'm Commander Havoc. I'm a writer on the Algorab AM, and I take care of the Xbox side of Sidewinder Syndicate. So, hi, Xbox guys. I like long walks on the beach, that sort of thing. That's pretty much it.
Right on.
I am Commander FantasticSpork. I am a brand new writer for Algorab AM. Yay. I help run the PS4 side of Nuke Pilots Initiative. I have for a little over a year and a half now, so that's awesome. And outside the game, I play music, I write, and I paint D&D miniatures.
Nice.
Oh, nice. What kind of instrument do you play?
Many.
Oboe. It's an oboe, isn't it?
It's not the oboe. My main is a French horn.
Oh.
But I got a guitar and a piano literally right in front of me.
Nice. Probably one of my greatest regrets in all of my my entire life is there was a defining moment in my life when my grandmother said I could either take music lessons or get a brand new Lego set, and I went for the Lego set.
Oh.
And I'm
how old
and
were
I'm
you?
not,
I mean, obviously.
I was like
You don't
9
even have
years
to be a
old.
kid.
Yeah, I mean, I was like 9 years old, but still at the same time, in my brain, I was like, I'm going to be an engineer one day. No, I am not an engineer, but I could have at least learned how to play a damn guitar. But, oh well. Should as, would as, and could as.
They should build buildings out of Legos, I think. That would be a lot easier.
It might be sturdier.
Not without
Really,
a lot of
none of us here are
craggle. That would require lots of craggle.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so I wanted to start us off, make sure that I don't know why I use boats as an analogy so much, but so we can keep the ship on course.
Alright.
Space boat.
Yeah, for this particular space boat. So a lot of things are going on in Elite right now. It is, for lack of a better word, pretty
Insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's like stuff is pretty nuts right now in game. For a while there, Galnet was just gone. CGs are hot and popping. It seems like there's multiple CGs a week, and to the point to where you almost can't keep up with all of them. So what I want to know is what are your guys' feelings on where the game is now, and what are the things that you're really happy about getting into now that stuff is starting to feel fresh again?
Yeah. I really like where we're going. I love that Galnet's back. I kind of wish they would do a little more with Galnet, but I love having that on when I'm just flying around. Other than having Algorab AM on, But yeah, it's really nice. I really like the CGs are back. That even though I don't usually have time to deal with those because I'm doing a lot of squadron stuff, but yeah, it's really cool. I really like the way that they're trying to kind of have more of a background story with the CGs and stuff like that. I really thought that was where they wanted to go with it when they first started doing CGs, and then when it kind of disappeared, I was worried that it was going to be just kind of back to the old way where it was just a CG that they seemed to randomly pick. But yeah, I really like this little background story thing, and I think they can use it to make all kinds of interesting stories.
Yeah, it's definitely cool that there seems to be a narrative to it now, and a lot of the CGs seem to be sparked by what you're reading in Galnet. Because when I read the last 2 Galnet articles, I was like, oh, like something's coming. There's some type of conflict on the way, and then the Fed Imperial War that just kicked off happened, and I was like, well, I kind of saw this coming. I guess no one cares that there are Thargoids out there just murdering folks, but whatever, sure, let's fight each other.
Yeah. They're not important.
Yeah.
They're only liquid.
We've known them for a while. It's fine.
I've driven around one of their bases. They're not even there.
So, how about you, Spork? Like, as far, basically the same question, but like, how are you feeling about like the state of the game right now and how it's going?
Well, that big gap where there was nothing going on. Like, I had the Perseus Reach. I had a bunch of crap going on. And I still do. I have so much stuff going on. And now that Galnet's back, we got the Ghost Ship, we got the CGs, we got everything. It's just overload. But I remember before Galnet left for that big gap too. And it's just really nice to see that come back, because I remember looking at the articles daily back a couple years ago, and just like the first time someone found Jameson's crash and the first time someone got hyperdicted, and I was just enthralled in this. And then Galnet kind of left for a bit, and now I can start to feel that coming back, that kind of just enamored with this insane story going on, along with the billions of other things you can do in game that you've been able to do the whole time. It just adds so much more to the game. Especially personally, I'm not looking for a story, really. Like, I don't mind. I'd be perfectly happy just running around scanning planets, honestly. But the fact that they're adding it back, it just adds a depth that I haven't experienced in, a couple of years now, and it's just bringing all that it's bringing all that back. It's making me very happy.
Me too.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's funny because I'm fairly new to the game. I've been playing the game for less than a year now, and when I came in, Galnet was dead. There was nothing going, there was really nothing going on in game, but I was at a point, because of a lot of things. The pandemic was going on. I was really looking for something to sink my teeth into, because I had just gotten sick of so many MMOs, excuse me, and different games and stuff like that. And I was like, God, I just want to play something simple that really that really catches me, right? Well, no, so but
Sorry.
but the funny thing about it though is, I was talking to my cousin, and he was like, hey, if you want, there's that Freelancer mod that adds a bunch of stuff and everything. And him and I used to love playing Freelancer back in the day. And I was like, yeah, I'll look into that. And then I was messing around on Steam and looking around, and then I saw that Elite Dangerous was on sale. And it was someone was talking to me a couple of days ago in the Algorab, in the Sidewinder Discord. And they were like, yeah, if you hadn't picked it up on that sale, I would have kicked you in the ass, because it was the base game and Horizons for $15.
Hey, and now you got all those sweet skins too.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, hell yes, sweet pearlescent skins. Let's go. Making my anaconda look like a freaking baller. But
It needs some
but
thinner rims, is what it needs.
yeah,
Thinner
well,
rims.
I mean, it has the spinning thrusters, so
Close
technically,
enough.
yeah. But so yeah, I got into the game, and then it definitely gave me those freelancer vibes, which a lot of people will attest to. It definitely has that feel to it. But then I just got so invested in like the systems, and I found myself like a week into playing it, and I had put so many light years behind me just space trucking, which like a lot of people are like, oh man, that's the worst. It's like, no, like for me, that I don't know why that is like one of the most appealing things to me in a game like this, where it's like, all right, I'm going to pick up this load and I'm going to go and I'm going to take you to this station and get me some credits. Like, I don't know why that
It's
clicks.
kind of meditative.
Yeah, like I mean, it really clicks with like the lizard part of my brain that is like, this is pleasurable. We must do more of it. That type thing.
Yeah.
And so I just kept on playing, and then I've told this story before on the podcast, but then I found Sidewinder, and well, the rest is history. But this game, like when I came into it though, Galnet was dead, and there wasn't a lot new coming into the game. I knew that Odyssey was coming, but that was a ways off, and like the first dev diary hadn't even come out yet, and I was just like, whatever, I'm enjoying the game, who cares? And then more and more stuff started to come out, and then Galnet came back, and I was like, "Oh, it's happening! Like this game is alive again!" Like someone came up, someone came in with the defibrillator and was just like, "Clear!" It just brought this thing back to life. So I'm really happy with where the game is going. I agree with you guys that it's really exciting to see like what's going to happen next, and it's really cool to be able to go to so many places and see different stuff about it. Like you go to Twitter and you can find stuff about it. You go on Twitch, people are streaming it. You go, to Reddit and people are posting, discoveries they found or like different trade routes or just random crap. Our own Monohive, got not only like a front page spot on Reddit for his post there, but got a shout out from Obsidian Ant for the really dope video that he posted.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's just a lot you can do in this game.
And I totally missed the opportunity to plug the podcast.
Like when you said it's like, oh, my only regret is that I didn't have an Algorab AM logo on the side of my ship. I was like, bro, if I had a way to get our logo into Elite, that would be it. Like I could die a happy man.
That's something we're working on, actually.
Yeah, I think I don't know the specifics behind it, but I know that the rats and I think the seals do. So I think there's a way you can do it. I do not know the specifics, but yeah.
That would be a dream come true. That would honestly be the most baller thing in the entire world. If there was an Algorab AM logo I could slap on the side of my ship, so good. But so, passing the question back to you though, Mono. So, how do you feel about the game as it is now, and like, what are your feelings on it? What's the temperature of the game for you?
Well, like you, I'm a new player to the game, as in I've only been playing since I think March or April this year, and it's man, there's so much I still need to do in the current game. Even without Odyssey, I definitely have at least over a year's worth of gameplay left, just for me, and I don't.
Like lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, if you discount the insane galaxy to explore and all that. Because I also don't do grinds, rank grinds and stuff like that. I just think doing that is I just don't enjoy it, so I just don't do it. Like I'll wait for a CG where there's a station rescue or something, and then I'll get a rank like that because that just feels nicer to do for me. So obviously I take more time doing things in the game. So even without Odyssey, like I've got tons to do in the game, and the little issues that bother people, the little tiny bugs, the problems with engineering and all that stuff, they haven't gotten to me yet. I'm still like, I don't know, these seem like really tiny issues, but I can understand for people who've been playing the game for many, many years, how it kind of just like, oh god, I just wish this little thing could be fixed.
No, it doesn't really get to me. I've been playing for 4.5 years.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm around there too, and it doesn't
well,
really bother me at all either.
not everybody, but you do hear about it, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
when you hear
Yeah,
about it, I'm always scratching my head like, what? I didn't even notice that. Is that a thing? Okay.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
but yeah, like I mean, I guess if I play the game for 5 more years, it'll start bugging me. But right now, I'm good.
I mean, it's not like we don't notice they're there, but it's
yeah,
just one of those things that we work around. It's chill.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Or like how you said about not really getting into the grinds and everything. I think that's something great about like I talked about this before, but like with Sidewinder and everything, we have guys that are just starting and people that have played for since the game came out, and I think it's really cool that we as a group can have a good place for all these people, to really get together and learn and teach each other, and there's nobody makes anybody feel bad because they don't like the grind or something like that.
hmm.
I think that's something that's really awesome in this game in general. But
Yeah, and the community is just so good. Like I've posted a bunch of stuff on Reddit on a lot of other communities, but this is the first time I've actually had people, reply or say anything,
yeah,
and it was really. I mean, every single interaction I've had with the community has just been really cool.
yeah, it's not just
Pretty
Sidewinder either.
positive.
Yeah,
Kind of
It's
everybody,
everywhere.
everyone's that
Yeah.
I
way.
mean, look at us right now, right?
Yeah.
How did this even
Yeah,
happen? How are we here?
yeah.
Um, yeah, it's crazy.
Something I wanted to mention earlier. When I joined the game, I was like, I just like astronomy and stuff. I like the stars. I like the um, space and the whole idea of that. And when I joined and when I bought the game, actually,
Makes two of us, by the way.
yeah, it was
Make
it
that
was
three.
just amazing to think that I could fly to Beetlejuice or some of those other places that I'll never actually see. Um, but like how you talking about how the game was so different back then. Uh, I was I joined and I had nothing to do. I got to the point where I was like, okay, what do I do now? And then I started looking for groups, and that's when we found Sidewinder Syndicate. And I mean, I never thought that I was going to find a group that like I really felt like these people are family, and
Yeah.
it's amazing that you can get that in a video game.
I've,
So,
thanks to not just New Pilots Initiative, but thanks to
yeah,
Elite in general, I've made friends that I never would have made. I've
yeah,
made lifelong friends, people that I consider best friends that I've never met face to face, and just this amazing. It's said a lot, but
yeah,
this is amazing community of people that, with all of the toxicity that exists within video game communities, it's incredible to see something like this thriving.
Okay, so with the state of the game as it is now, it's pretty easy to see, where there's some shortcomings and like where things are getting better and where things are really good, and that's awesome. But there's stuff on the horizon, and it's not Horizons. We're playing that now, but we have Odyssey to look forward to, and for
oh my God, I have legs.
the aptly named Space Legs. So my question to y'all is, I mean, aside from what we already know, which is quite a bit, what are you hoping for / looking forward to with Odyssey? So we'll start out with Mono.
Okay, the number one thing I'm looking forward to, and it has nothing to do with the gameplay mechanics. It has nothing to do with all the new things we're going to be able to do in the game. It's just that I want to land on a planet that has a tenuous atmosphere, and I want to look up and see stellar bodies through the atmosphere. That's all I want to do, and I'll be happy. I'll be fine. Like see two suns setting on the
Yeah,
horizon.
Oh, Be fantastic.
Maybe a yellow sky. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
You wanna pull us?
Clouds. I want to
Yeah.
see some clouds.
Mm-hmm.
So Monohive wants to be able to pull a Luke Skywalker and look out at the double sunset and just be like, "Man, I freaking hate it here," and then leave the planet.
It's so hot.
Oh, so much
Desert.
sand.
Pretty
It gets
much,
everywhere.
but think
It's so
about the
coarse.
combinations of things you can see through an atmosphere. Like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
like
Luke
Beetlejuice.
Skywalker thing is obviously the reference I'm using, obviously. But imagine you go to the galactic core and you land on an atmospheric planet and you look up at the sky there. It's gonna be insane. Like,
Oh.
It's just gonna be nothing but
No
sun.
shade.
So there
Just
are, if you
light.
can find a system close to, like super close, a couple light years away, you can actually see Sag A from there.
Cool.
So if you can find a planet to land on, you might actually still be able to see the supermassive black hole.
oh, I didn't even
Yeah.
think of that.
At least a little
That's
bit.
amazing.
So
Wow.
I think it's also a really good
Goals.
thing to point out that FantasticSpork is not only an intrepid adventurer, but also very much versed and knowledgeable in the ways of astronomy. So I like hearing you talk about astronomy because it always fascinates me to hear people talk about the thing they're passionate about. So I appreciate the fact that you're like, yeah, man, if you're like within freaking, viewing distance of the black hole through an atmosphere, it'd be a blue sky. And then there's a super massive black hole. And it's like, I hadn't even thought about that, but that would be really dope.
Yeah.
Also, can I ask you
Sorry,
to please
didn't
fact
interrupt.
check their stories when they're writing it? If they're adding any like stellar science to it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh.
Because when I'm writing the story, I'm 100% going sci-fi. So like, if at any point you're like that wouldn't actually happen, you let me know and I'll put a little science fact into my science fiction.
All right. Oh,
Well,
shit.
I'm
Sorry.
actually that way too.
Y'all didn't hear my alarm start to go off, did you?
Super
No.
did not.
Cool.
No.
But
Fantastic. Because it
this
was
point-
loud as hell.
At this
Everyone
point, it
knows
doesn't
about it
matter.
now.
It's cool.
Mhm.
Like,
Oh yeah, we're way past the point of audio bugs and stuff like that stopping this train.
Just keep going.
Fantastic.
We are choo-chooing down the tracks, my friends. But all right, cool. So Mono wants to be able to land on a planet and look up at a blue sky, and that's great, man. I mean, or a red one or a green one. I don't know, like atmospheric categories can show all kinds of different colors, I imagine. But that's really cool, and that is something to look forward to. And for a lot of people, that is worth the price of admission. So, what about you, Havoc? Like when it comes to Odyssey, what's the thing that you're looking forward to the most?
Well, I just got one word to add to Mono's, and that's auroras. That will be awesome.
yes,
But,
yes.
yeah.
God, just
For
like
me-
the different atmospheric types and
Yeah, that'd be so cool. For me, I don't know. I think because I started as an explorer too. So I've been to Sag A, I've been to a bunch of different planets and everything like that. But I don't know. I think being able to have kind of an in-game way to kind of hang out with your friends that's not just sitting there staring at their ship.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of interesting. I don't really. I mean, I think that they're eventually going to go to the point where you can walk around your own ship. I think they're kind of using the stations and maybe on planets and stuff to walk around as just because it's easier to do, I think. But yeah, I'd really like to see you be able to walk around your own ship. But I think walking around stations, being able to see other pilots and just hang out with them and everything, I think is going to be really interesting. And it's going to add another bit of kind of realism. Because, I mean, we never see people in the game, ever. You see the little portrait when you're talking to them, getting missions or whatever, but you never actually talk to anyone, or you never see anyone walking around. So it's really going to be interesting, I think, to see that, and it's going to add a lot of immersion to it. So immersion. Yeah.
All right, so same
Can-
question passed. Oh no, go ahead.
Can I just add some? So when you said auroras,
Yes.
it's and I'm just gonna have to ask Spork here because she's now the
Okay.
resident scientist.
Oh, don't
Don't-
give me responsibility.
Got him.
No, because this is I had thought about this and I really want this in the game, but all you need is a magnetic field on a planet, right? For auroras. I don't
And
think you
solar
need
wind.
a crazy atmosphere. And solar wind, of course,
No.
that's all over the place. But tenuous atmosphere plus magnetic fields, right? If I'm
Yep.
yeah, okay. So technically
Sure.
it should be. Thank you, Spork, for clearing that up for us. Thank you.
Oh God! Don't
Well,
don't fact check me.
Actually, to be honest, you would need some sort of gas in the atmosphere
Yeah.
too. Otherwise, it wouldn't make any color.
But if we're going to be landing on atmospheric planets, then
Yeah.
there's your gas. So
Right.
There'd be some sort of gas.
Should be enough for for some kind of okay. All right. I'm done. I'm good.
Hopefully, it's not methane and it's all green and it would. Oh, don't take your helmet off.
And it just ignites. Come to find out all the atmosphere here consists of methane.
Yeah.
So you can't take off now because you're gonna light the whole planet on fire. I guess this is where I live.
this planet smells like crap.
Wait a second.
She said, this planet smells like crap. Sorry, that made me laugh. But
Dairy farm on this planet. Space cows.
But so basically the same question passed off to you, Spork. When it comes to Odyssey and what's coming up, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I literally just checked this. So my favorite system in the entirety of the galaxy is the Collection of Wonders. There are a couple unlandable planets there.
Yeah.
If I could land on one of them, like with some, I totally didn't check to see if they had atmosphere, but if I could land on them and just look at the rest of the system, because the Collection of Wonders is filled with some crazy stuff.
Everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. That would just be really awesome to set feet on the ground and get out and actually walk around in the most amazing system I've ever seen.
That's pretty
That
cool.
and I want to scan plants. I really want to scan plants. I just want to be a xenobiologist. I'm just gonna, for the first couple of weeks, I'm gonna be in the middle. If it comes out very early 2021, I'm gonna be in the middle of an expedition. So I'm gonna have to scan some plants like 25,000 light years from Sol, but that's okay.
I mean, you're going to make a lot of first discoveries, that's for sure.
You get to
Oh,
be the
God.
person that finds out if the plant is carnivorous or not. That's going to be fun.
You'll get to discover the first.
I'll add an
kill
extra
you.
death onto that EDSM list just because a friggin' giant Venus flytrap ate me.
Don't eat those mushrooms, man. They're
Mushrooms will eat you.
Yeah.
Space broccoli, just as bad as Earth broccoli.
Just as bad. I don't know, the feeling of getting out and walking around.
Yeah.
Not so much in stations. I am thrilled to hear about the stations. I'm excited, and I really want them to actually become more of like a player hub, sort of, for lack of better words, so we can actually meet people in
I want
game.
to actually be able to walk around Forbes Terminal and run into other Sidewinders. That would be
I want an emote too.
What's up, Dave?
I want to give my friends a high five.
Hey, Dave. What's going on? How's the kids?
Yeah, exactly. Just walk by like, hey, what's going on, guys? How's it going?
Finger guns.
Yeah. Oh man, if there's not a finger guns emote, I'm gonna be really upset. I'm like, come on, hey, there we go. I'm just dress my guy to look like the Fonz, so I can just walk around finger guns everybody.
I actually have a friend who, anytime we get out in our SRVs, first thing that we do is we ram into each other. Whoever gets out their ship first, the other one is always right there. Like they're he's gonna definitely run me over with the SRV the second I get out of my ship.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I wouldn't expect any less. And I'm actually kind of looking forward to it.
I can't wait to see a Type 9 just pancake somebody. Watch
sense
out
of
down
scale.
there.
Honestly, though, for like the sense of scale and stuff,
Yeah.
when you think about like when you're in your SRV, scale is still a little weird because like technically like a DBX is like the size of a freaking school bus, but in your SRV it doesn't look that much bigger than the SRV. But when
the
you're
T10's the size of a football field.
Yeah, so it's gonna be really interesting to like be on foot and like actually look at your ship and be like, man, I fly that? Like, that's crazy.
How do I get that into station?
Yeah. I'm the best pilot in the world. I've put this thing through the metal slot so many times.
Yeah.
But one thing that I have thought about though, like recently now as a new HOTAS owner, right? Something that I have thought about is when we do transition to like from our ship to on foot, whether it be in the station or out on a planet or something like that, how are the controls going to be? Because I've never done like a first person game with a HOTAS. I mean, with a gamepad, yeah, for sure, but like with a stick and throttle, am I going to push my throttle forward and then my character starts moving forward? Like how is this going to work? I don't know.
I haven't thought about that one.
Yeah, so like I might have to get like a USB hub.
Get on this.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
I think
we need
it'll
answers.
probably be kind of SRV controls, I think. So
God, I hope
you'll
not.
have like a
I've had to
throttle
completely relearn.
with your character.
I don't want to control myself like I control my SRV.
Yeah, I
I can barely control my SRV.
For real, I'm terrible with my HOTAS and the SRV. I was out getting materials and I was like, well, this is a lost cause. Like,
no.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
But honestly, like for myself, as far as Odyssey is concerned, I'm really interested in what the first-person combat is going to look like. I mean, unlike you guys, I didn't come into Elite with the intention of exploring. I just kind of wanted to live in the universe, and for me, like the economy was something that really like lashed onto me. That's why I started trading as much as I did, and I thought that was really cool. But I'm really interested to see what the first person aspects are going to be like in like combat scenarios or just exploring a planet, and like moving around like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I love exploring and I'm hoping one day I could, head out to the black and really actually do a lot of exploration. I've never done more than like,
if you need help, I got you.
Yeah.
Nice. But like, I do find myself drawn more to like the commerce and combat side of it. So I guess I kind of am looking forward to see how they implement those things. I'm also really hoping that because everybody's kind of assuming it's going to be like it's going to be, Elite Dangerous meets Call of Duty and had a really ugly baby, which if we're being honest, that already happened. It's called Planet Side. Go play it. But I'm hoping
now.
Yeah. I mean, Planet Side 2 is pretty good. But anyway, I'm hoping that we get to fight Thargoids. Like, I want ground combat against Thargoids. That would be so gangster.
I want to see what they actually look like outside the ship.
Yes.
Yeah, we've seen leaked photos, but I don't know if that's actually what they're going to go with. And I just think that if they do have on-foot combat, you can't have it where it's just against other players. They're going to have like NPC enemies, and I think Thargoids are perfect for that.
Yeah. So. And think of like the CG potential of like, all right, there's a CG going on this particular planet, and you either pick a side of defending this outpost or defending this other outpost against waves of Thargoids and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of things you can do there that would be so freaking cool. It's just I don't know what they have planned for that kind of stuff. I really hope it's not just basic PvP stuff. I mean, that'll still be fun, but it seems like such a waste of potential. You know what I mean?
Well, I think another thing that they should add, and they may be looking at, is different types of SRVs. Like,
I saw that.
Tank SRV, an SRV that has a big ass gun on it, and it's and you drive up and you fight like those little outposts and stuff like that. Would that not be amazing? Instead of having to do it in your dinky little SRV.
Oh, speaking of SRVs, what I want more than anything in the world is an SRV with more than 2 tons of cargo space. Yes.
I'd like to see like planetary mining would be cool.
Oh yes.
Like
And
legit
have
planetary
that as
mining.
the SRV.
Oh, there was one thing that I was thinking about a while ago is if it would be cool if there'd be some sort of way that you could set up some sort of extractor so you can, I don't know.
See, like the funny thing is you're tapping into like old MMO territory when you're talking about that. Like you're giving me some really strong Star Wars Galaxy vibes, and I would be so down for that. Oh my god, I'd be so down.
I want to come back and see my extractors like, yo, you have 300 tritium. Thanks.
Yeah, even if it was really slow, it would just be nice to have some way to get stuff like that without having to constantly. Because for Frontier, time is the most important thing, and they don't want to waste it. They don't want you wasting your time. So
Heavens no.
Yeah.
Now,
who thinks that's true?
All right, so I think a good place to wrap this up is with a real quick, like we'll call this the exit question. This has been a great first all hands podcast, and I think we should definitely make it a point to do this on a regular basis. At least to get everybody together so we can all touch base and talk about the game and stuff like that. So I first off want to thank you guys for joining me for this, but where I want to end this is with a very not basic question, but kind of a good like food for thought type thing, which is when you log into Elite, do you go in with a plan? Do you go in just wanting to blow off some steam? Do you go in thinking like, okay, I'm gonna do X tasks today? Like, what is it when you sit down to Elite that the first thing that comes to your mind? Like you boot the game, you're like, all right, cool, here we go. What's that thought that comes into your head?
I think for me, it's I always try to have some sort of goal, and I think that's really kind of the best way, at least for me, to keep interested in the game and not get burned out on it too easy. Is I always try to have something I'm working for. And I mean, there's so many things that you can have as a goal. It could be, go to SAG A, or just make 100 million credits, or, engineer your ship or something. I think it's really important to try to have small goals to meet every time you log in. I mean, there's nothing wrong with just jumping on and blowing up some pirates, but I think for longevity, it's usually good to try to have some sort of goal that you're going for, at least for me.
Cool. What about you, Mono?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Every time I log in, I probably spend the night before planning what I'm going to be doing the next day, and I'll probably come in, and it's usually engineering my ship to do something else.
Nice.
But by the time I'm done engineering, I'm just like, I can't do anything right now. I'll do this tomorrow. So I think I spent most of last month just engineering and unlocking modules and doing all that stuff. And this month, I'm just going to be chilling. I'm not going to play much, so that in December, when we head out on the expedition, I can just binge on the game, So I have like a 3-month plan set up, so yes, I do a lot of planning before playing. Also, like, time is kind of a premium. I get to play only like a couple of days during the week. Yeah.
What about you, Spork?
I usually have some sort of at least a general idea of what I want to do. If I've got something going on, like January, I've got the expedition starting. I'll have like a whole list of things that I need to do, and I'm on both Xbox and PlayStation, so that list is doubled.
Oh, good lord!
Yeah.
Xbox.
But I usually have some sort of idea of what I want to do, If I'm outside the bubble, it's usually jump around, discover things. I have a couple things I'm always searching for specifically. But if I'm in the bubble, it's usually New Pilots Initiative, like BGS stuff, or mining, or gathering mats. But I usually have a plan, and I usually obsess over that plan for days while I'm trying to carry it out in game.
Right on. Well, I feel like the odd duck out because sometimes I boot up the game with a plan, and sometimes I just want to blow off some steam and just want to play something and kind of switch my brain off. And for me, Elite is that perfect game of just like, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to hop into my ship regardless of what I'm piloting that day, and I'm just going to go blow up some pirates or just go check out a star system, or I'm just going to cruise around. Like, I spent an evening a couple days ago just in Super Cruise flying through space in a system. No plan on going anywhere. Just going in Super Cruise and listening to music, and I was like, this is very relaxing. Mm-hmm. And it's like it's very much a cathartic thing for me, where like if I have kind of like a rough day at work, I'll sit down in the game and I'll be flying around doing stuff, and then it gives me ideas for stuff for the podcast or for other stuff to make. So I kind of look at Elite as like a well of like inspiration and stuff when it comes to like content creation and stuff. So sometimes I just like to just hop into it. But I mean, that's not to say I haven't gone in with a plan before. Like when I finally sat down and was like, I'm gonna grind out this Fed rank, I definitely sat down and was like, I'm gonna do this freaking loop until
that was a rough one.
Yeah. And that was a rough 3 days. That was a rough 3 days of just going back and forth and being like, why do I hate myself? Why am I doing this? Did I do something wrong in a past life? I don't understand, but I got it done, and now I have my Corvette, and I'm never looking back. So
I still have to do the Fed stuff. I did the imp stuff like a week before the CG drop, by the way.
Yeah, and that's why Mono and that's why Mono was giving me a hard time earlier, because I have my Fed rank and everybody else in the squadron is fighting for Fed, but I'm like, I'm gonna fight Imperial guys, and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, no, but I need the rank though. I just want to get a cutter. Come on, guys.
Cutter's a wonderful thing.
Hey man, actually, no, I'm not gonna say anything. Never mind. I'm just gonna.
Sure.
I'm just gonna step back.
Are you gonna say you don't like the cutter and that the cutter is slow and the cutter is slightly overrated?
No.
If you're gonna say it has terrible maneuvering, you wouldn't be wrong.
What?
So honestly, though, like aesthetically, I don't like. Honestly, aesthetically, I don't like the Imperial ships at all. I really don't. I don't.
They're pretty gaudy.
Yeah, and so honestly, my only reasoning for wanting to unlock the rank is so to finish off the completionist part of my brain and just own one of every ship. And that way I can be like, all right, if I decide I want to do something with a clipper or a cutter or whatever, I have it. But I don't necessarily have to play it. Like, I have an Orca sitting around right now that I don't do anything with, but I have an Orca, so that's cool. If I decide I want to do something. Yeah.
They're fun to race with.
You know what I picture every time I see a Gudemaya ship? I just picture like a really wealthy Persian guy in the cockpit with like gold chains and shit all over him, and he's like, "Hey man,
two tigers one on each side of him."
I'm gonna build that commander now.
She said, "I'm gonna build that commander." Oh man, but
I got arcs.
I got the arcs to burn. But I think with that, though, this is a good place to end this podcast. I want to thank everybody that has been listening. Real quick, though, before we leave out, I want to double check with everybody. Does anybody have any closing thoughts, starting with you, Mono?
Well, sign up for Sidewinder Syndicate and listen to the podcast. That's about it, really.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. Listen to the podcast; it's pretty good. We got some really interesting story coming, so I'm really happy with it.
Awesome. Spork, what about you?
May not be a part of Sidewinder Syndicate officially, but
You
y'all
are
seem really awesome. And the podcast
honorary
is
Sidewinder.
really awesome. Podcast is friggin' awesome, and more people need to jump on it.
Like a pony.
All right, and I think that is a good place to end this episode. I mean, as good as any place, right? Of course, I want to thank my co-host and the members of the Algorab AM Media Division, Commander Monohive, Commander Havoc, Commander FantasticSpork. They're the ones that helped to make this show possible. And man, I tell you what, I couldn't ask for a better team out here. Because, you know what? I'm just one guy. But man, being a part of a team, that feels pretty good. I also want to thank all my folks out there in Sidewinder Syndicate. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep flying dangerous. And yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of Algorab AM. Remember, you can find us in all the places you find podcasts. Please make sure to tell your friends. Make sure to rate the show and to subscribe on whatever your podcast platform of choice is. But with that, that's it. I am Commander IFlippaDaSwitch. Thank you very much for listening. Have yourself an amazing week. Live safe, fly dangerously. 07 out.